Men over 60, a urologist, warns to avoid these 5 healthy foods that secretly drain your energy. Do you ever find yourself struggling to open a pickle jar that used to be no trouble at all? Or maybe you feel just a little unsteady when you get up too fast. Listen, that's not just getting older. It's a quiet signal, a sign that your body is sending you. Now, many men chalk this up to not spending enough time at the gym, but in my practice, I've seen countless cases where the real culprit is hiding in a far more surprising place. It's sitting right there, in that healthy fruit bowl on your kitchen counter. You see, research from respected organizations like the Endocrine Society has consistently shown a powerful link, a link between blood sugar control and the hormonal balance in men as they age. And a single small mistake in your fruit choice can set off a negative chain reaction throughout your entire body. I'm reminded of a patient of mine. We'll call him Frank, a retired carpenter. Now, Frank ate plenty of bananas and raisins because he was told they were good for his heart, but he just felt tired, weaker. When we made just a few small swaps in his fruit bowl, the difference in just 1 month was, frankly, astonishing. I'm Dr. Audrey Wells, and in this video, I'm going to show you the exact 4 fruits that might be quietly draining your strength. And more importantly, the 4 powerhouse fruits you should be eating every single day to help your body rebuild its energy and its resilience. All right, let's start with the 4 fruits you need to be cautious about. These are the ones that, despite their healthy reputation, can quietly work against your goals. Section number 1, the banana. Now, the first fruit on our list is in almost every kitchen in America, the humble banana. But here's the critical mistake so many men make, and frankly, it's not their fault. We've been told for decades that bananas are the perfect power snack, that they're full of potassium and great for a quick energy boost, especially in the morning. So, we slice them over our cereal or blend them into our smoothies, thinking we're doing our body a huge favor. But this can actually backfire, particularly for a man's body over the age of 50. So why is this? Why could a simple banana be a problem? It all comes down to how your body processes its incredibly high sugar content. For a younger man running a marathon, that quick burst of sugar is useful fuel. But for a man in his 50s, 60s, or 70s, whose metabolism has naturally slowed, that quick energy creates a serious problem. A single medium to large banana can pack anywhere from 25 to even 30 grams of sugar. That's more than a donut. When you consume that much simple sugar so rapidly, especially on an empty stomach, your body has to release a massive flood of a hormone called insulin to deal with it. Insulin's job is to get that sugar out of your bloodstream and into your cells. But when you trigger these huge insulin spikes over and over and over again, day after day, your cells start to get tired of listening. They become resistant. This condition is called insulin resistance, and it is a proven enemy of healthy testosterone production. And this isn't just a theory. This is backed by solid science. Studies published in respected journals like Diabetes Care have consistently shown a direct and powerful link. The research clearly indicates that as a man's insulin resistance goes up, his circulating free testosterone levels go down. They are on opposite ends of a seesaw. One goes up, the other goes down. It's a hormonal certainty. Here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine insulin is like a key, and your cells are like tiny doors with locks on them. In a healthy body, the insulin key fits perfectly. The door opens, and sugar goes in for energy. But when you bombard the locks with too many keys all at once, day after day, the locks start to get worn out. They get damaged. Eventually, the keys don't work anymore. The sugar gets locked out of the cells, and it gets stuck circulating in your bloodstream, where it causes damage, inflammation, and weight gain. And when your body is in that constant state of emergency, trying to manage all that excess sugar, It has to divert resources away from other important jobs, and one of the first jobs to get put on the back burner is the production of masculine hormones. Your body simply doesn't have the bandwidth to do both. So, what does this mean for you practically? How can you apply this information? Does this mean you can never eat a banana again? No, not necessarily. But you must be strategic. If you absolutely feel you must have one, first, choose a smaller banana and look for one that is still slightly green at the stem. A greener banana has less simple sugar and more of something called resistant starch, which is better for your gut bacteria and digests more slowly. And the second rule, and this is the most important one, is to never eat a banana by itself. Never. You must buffer that sugar load. Always pair it with a source of healthy fat and protein. This could be a small handful of walnuts or a tablespoon of almond butter. The fat and protein act like a sponge, slowing down the absorption of the sugar and preventing that dangerous hormone-crushing insulin spike. I think back to my patient, Frank, the retired carpenter I mentioned earlier. One of the very first things we did was swap his daily morning banana for half an avocado with a sprinkle of salt. A simple change. But he told me that just by doing that, he eliminated that drowsy, sluggish feeling he used to get every single day around 3 in the afternoon. That afternoon slump just vanished. It was a small tweak, but for him, it was a profound discovery. He was no longer a victim of that blood sugar roller coaster. If you're as surprised as Frank was to learn about the banana's hidden downside, let me know in the comments below by simply typing the words, sugar spike. It helps me know if this information is truly hitting home for you. All right, let's move on to the second item on our caution list. This one is a sweet trap that many health-conscious men fall into without a second thought. Section number 2, dried fruits. I'm talking about things like raisins, dates, dried figs, dried apricots, and prunes. And here's the mistake that is so easy to make. The mistake is thinking that because it comes from fruit, a small handful must be harmless. It feels natural. It feels healthy. We toss them into our morning oatmeal. We mix them into trail mix. Or we snack on them straight out of the bag, thinking we're making a much better choice than a cookie or a candy bar. But in reality, what you're eating can be just as damaging, if not more so, to your hormonal balance. So, why is this? How can dried fruit be a problem? You have to think about the process. When a fruit is dehydrated, all of its water content is removed. And when you take out the water, you are left with a very small, very dense, super concentrated package of sugar. The sugar that was once spread out in a large water-filled plum is now shrunk down into a tiny, chewy prune. Let me put this in perspective for you. A small 1.5 ounce box of raisins, the kind you probably had in your lunchbox as a kid, can contain nearly 40 grams of sugar. That's often more sugar than a full can of Coca-Cola. A handful of sweet, sticky dates can easily deliver 50 grams of sugar. This concentrated form of fructose goes straight to your liver, and it triggers an insulin response that is even more violent and more aggressive than the one from a banana. And again, the science on this is very clear and very sobering. An extensive body of research on fructose metabolism, much of which has been published in journals like the Journal of Hepatology, has shown a direct line from high consumption of concentrated fructose to the development of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. When your liver gets overwhelmed by this sugar, it starts turning it into fat. A fatty, sluggish liver is an inflamed liver, and an inflamed liver simply cannot perform its hundreds of vital functions properly, including the crucial job of regulating your hormones. Here's the analogy I want you to remember. Eating a fresh, whole fruit is like drinking cool, clear water from a flowing mountain stream. It's hydrating, it's refreshing, and it comes packaged with all of its natural fiber and structure. Eating dried fruit, on the other hand, is like drinking a thick, sugary syrup that has been boiled down from that same stream. Yes, the source is the same, but the impact on your body's internal machinery is worlds apart. One supports your system, the other overwhelms it. So, what is the practical takeaway here? How should you apply this? The rule is incredibly simple. Always choose the fresh, water-intact version of the fruit over the dried, concentrated version. It's a non-negotiable rule for hormonal health. Instead of a handful of raisins, have a small bunch of fresh grapes. Instead of snacking on dried dates, have a crisp, delicious apple. The fiber and water in the fresh fruit will fill you up, and they act as a natural brake system, slowing down the sugar's entry into your bloodstream. I've had so many male patients in my clinic, men struggling with that stubborn, hard-to-lose belly fat, who have seen a noticeable difference in just a few weeks from one single change. They stopped their afternoon snack of dried fruit and nuts. That's it. It's one of the simplest yet most effective levers you can pull to help manage your insulin and support a healthier hormonal environment. Section number 3, soy products like edamame. Now, technically, soy is a legume, but we often treat it like a fruit or an easy vegetable snack, especially edamame. And the common mistake is thinking that because it's a plant-based protein and it's low in calories, it must be an unconditionally healthy choice. Men snack on steamed edamame, or they use soy-based protein bars after a workout, believing they are making a smart, heart-healthy decision. But for a man over 50 who is concerned about his masculine vitality, there is a serious reason to be cautious. So why? What is the issue with soy? The issue lies in the fact that soy is uniquely rich in powerful plant compounds called isoflavones. You may have also heard these referred to by another name, phytoestrogens, and the name tells you exactly what they do. Phyto means plant. Estrogen is the primary female hormone. These are plant-based compounds that have a molecular structure so similar to your own estrogen that they can actually bind to the estrogen receptors in your body and weakly mimic its effects. Now, I have to be balanced here. The research on this topic is complex, and some studies do show minimal effect, especially in younger men. However, science also tells us this. A significant meta-analysis published in the journal Fertility and Sterility, which reviewed numerous studies on the topic, concluded that high soy intake was indeed associated with a decrease in testosterone concentrations in men. The evidence suggests that for a man whose testosterone levels may already be declining due to age or other factors, chronic high-volume consumption of soy products is an unnecessary risk. Your goal is to maximize your own natural testosterone, not to introduce a compound that potentially competes with it and mimics its hormonal opposite. The analogy is this. Think of your body's hormone receptors as locks on a door. Your testosterone is the perfect key for some locks, and your estrogen is the key for others. Phytoestrogens from soy are like poorly made copy keys. They aren't the real thing, but they are just similar enough that they can jam themselves into the estrogen locks. When this happens, it sends a confusing signal to your body's hormonal headquarters. The system can get thrown out of balance, which is the last thing you want when you're trying to maintain strength and vitality. So what's the practical advice? I advise my male patients to approach soy with an abundance of caution. This doesn't mean you can never have it, but it should not be a daily staple. If you do choose to incorporate soy, do so sparingly, and try to focus on fermented forms like traditional tempeh or miso. The fermentation process appears to change the structure of the isoflavones, potentially making them less hormonally active. But for simple daily snacking, skip the edamame. Just skip it. There are far better and safer options available. A client of mine, a 62-year-old named Robert, used to eat a soy protein bar every single day. When he switched to a whey protein or simply a handful of almonds and walnuts, he reported feeling a noticeable improvement in his morning energy and overall drive within about a month. It's about removing these potential obstacles. and giving your body a clear path to produce its own hormones. All right, the fourth and final fruit on our caution list is incredibly common in the American diet, especially in its processed form. Section number 4, grapes, and specifically, grape juice. Now, what's the mistake here? The mistake with grapes is mindlessness. It is incredibly easy to sit down in front of the television with a giant bowl of grapes and eat hundreds of them without even realizing it. Because they are small and sweet, we don't perceive them as a large quantity of food. But the real hormonal villain here, the true danger, is not the whole fruit. It's what we do to it. The real danger is grape juice. So why is grape juice so problematic? When you take grapes and put them through an industrial juicer, you strip away two of the most important things, the skin and the fiber. All that solid matter is discarded. What you are left with is, essentially, a glass of pure liquid sugar. It's a monumental sugar bomb. Just one 8-ounce glass of commercial grape juice can contain 36 grams of sugar or more, which is almost the same as a can of orange soda. This liquid sugar requires virtually no digestion. It hits your bloodstream almost instantaneously, delivering a massive insulin hit that sends your entire hormonal system into a tailspin. As we've discussed, that insulin spike is a direct attack on your body's ability to produce testosterone, and the scientific evidence on the dangers of sugary beverages is overwhelming. Decades of research, including landmark studies like the Framingham Heart Study, have linked the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages to an increased risk of insulin resistance, obesity, and metabolic syndrome, all of which are directly tied to lower testosterone levels in men. There is no ambiguity on this point in the medical community. Here's the analogy I want you to use. Eating a handful of whole grapes is like walking up a long, gentle hill. The fiber forces your body to take its time, and the energy release is slow and controlled. Drinking a glass of grape juice, however, is like jumping off a cliff. It's a sudden, jarring, and uncontrolled shock to your system. Your body has to go into full-blown emergency mode to handle the fallout. So the how-to here is very straightforward. If you enjoy grapes, eat them, in moderation, as a whole fruit. But you should completely, and I mean completely, eliminate commercial grape juice from your diet. And this applies to apple juice and most other fruit juices as well. They are not healthy foods. They are liquid sugar. Drink water. Drink unsweetened iced tea. Drink black coffee. But do not drink your fruit. A patient of mine made this one change. He was used to having a large glass of grape juice with his breakfast every morning, thinking it was a healthy habit. He swapped it for a glass of water with a squeeze of fresh lemon. He told me that not only did he lose about 8 pounds over the next 2 months without changing anything else, but he also felt his thinking was clearer and his energy was much more stable throughout the day. It's because he got off that morning blood sugar spike and crash. It's a simple change, but it is a powerful one. Okay, so we've talked about the foods to approach with caution. We've cleared out the potential roadblocks. Now, for the good news. Let's talk about the 4 powerhouse fruits. These aren't just okay for you. These specific fruits contain unique compounds, vitamins, and minerals that are scientifically proven to help optimize your hormone pathways and to actively support your body's natural testosterone production. Let's build your system back up. All right, let's dive into the first fruit on our powerhouse list. The first food you should actively add to your diet to support your masculine hormones. Section number 5, the pomegranate. Now, the first powerhouse fruit we're going to discuss is the pomegranate. For thousands of years, across many cultures, this fruit has been a symbol of health, fertility, and strength. And it turns out that ancient wisdom was remarkably accurate. But here is the mistake many people make when they see pomegranates in the grocery store. They walk right past them. They often get ignored. And it's usually for one of 2 reasons. People think they are too expensive, or they think they are too difficult and messy to eat. So they just grab something easier, and in doing so, they miss out on one of nature's most potent hormonal supporters. So why? Why is the pomegranate so incredibly powerful for men's health? Well, it works its magic in two very distinct and important ways. First, the pomegranate is absolutely bursting with some of the most powerful antioxidants found in nature, special compounds like punicolagens. These antioxidants act like a highly skilled firefighting team inside your body. Their job is to seek out and extinguish the small, silent fires of inflammation and oxidative stress that can wear your system down over time. This is critically important because the cells in your testicles that are responsible for producing testosterone, they are called the Leydig cells, and they are extremely sensitive to this kind of stress. By protecting these cellular factories from damage, you allow them to do their job much more efficiently. And the second thing the pomegranate does is it helps your body manage the stress hormone, cortisol. And this is where the science gets really exciting, and it provides powerful, direct evidence. A remarkable study, which was conducted by researchers at Queen Margaret University in Edinburgh and published in the Endocrine Abstracts, looked at this very thing. They had a group of participants drink pure pomegranate juice every day for 2 weeks, and the results were stunning. At the end of the study, the participants on average saw their salivary testosterone levels increase by a significant 24%. 24% in just 2 weeks. They also reported lower levels of negative emotions and improved mood. The evidence strongly suggests that the compounds in pomegranates directly support your hormonal system. Now, to make this science easy to remember, here is the analogy I want you to picture. Think of your cortisol and your testosterone levels as being on opposite ends of a seesaw. This is a fundamental rule of your endocrine system. When cortisol, the stress hormone, is high, it physically pushes testosterone down. And conversely, when you lower your cortisol, testosterone is allowed to rise naturally. The pomegranate essentially helps to take weight off of the cortisol side of the seesaw, allowing the testosterone side to lift back up to where it's supposed to be. It helps restore that natural, healthy balance. So how can you incorporate this into your routine simply and practically? You don't need to eat a whole pomegranate every single day. That's not necessary. There are 2 easy ways to do this. The first is to get a bottle of pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice. Make sure the label says 100% juice and not from concentrate if possible. Just a small glass, a few ounces, which is about 60 to 90 milliliters, is all you need a few times a week. Or you can buy the pomegranate seeds, which are called arils, already separated. You can find them in the refrigerated section of most grocery stores. Simply sprinkle a couple of spoonfuls over your morning yogurt or add them to a salad for a burst of flavor and color. The key, as always, is consistency. Now for a final tip on synergy. A client of mine, a 58-year-old teacher named David, started doing exactly this, and he discovered something fantastic. He started combining his daily pomegranate juice with a handful of raw pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest natural sources of another critical mineral for testosterone production, zinc. He found that the combination of the pomegranate and the zinc from the pumpkin seeds gave him a much more noticeable boost in his afternoon energy levels. It's a powerful 1-2 punch, a small tweak that made a world of difference for him. And it can for you, too. If you're ready to give this ancient superfruit a try and add it to your diet, let me know. Show me you're committed. Go down to the comments right now and type Power Up. Section number 8, berries. Specifically, I'm talking about blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. Now, the mistake many people make with berries is thinking of them as just a simple, sweet treat. They see them as a dessert topping or something to make a smoothie taste good, but they don't fully appreciate their profound medicinal properties. So why are berries so special? While they are famous for their antioxidant content, their unique value for men's health lies in their incredibly high concentration of those flavonoids we just talked about, particularly compounds with names like quercetin and anthocyanins. These specific compounds are some of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories you can consume. Remember chronic systemic inflammation, that low-grade fire that is constantly smoldering inside your body from stress, poor diet, and environmental toxins. That is a silent killer of hormonal health. It wears down your entire system, including the delicate machinery responsible for producing testosterone. The science on this is compelling. Research, including studies published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, has shown that the anthocyanins in berries can directly reduce inflammatory markers in the bloodstream. By actively lowering this inflammation, you are creating a much more favorable, a much calmer, internal environment for your hormones to be produced without interference. Think of it like this. Imagine trying to build a delicate precision watch in the middle of a dusty, vibrating construction site. It would be almost impossible. The dust and the shaking would ruin the delicate gears. Chronic inflammation is that dusty, vibrating construction site inside your body. The flavonoids in berries act like a crew that comes in to clean up the dust and stabilize the ground, allowing the delicate work of hormone production to proceed peacefully and efficiently. So how do you get these benefits? This is perhaps the easiest one of all. The great thing about berries is that they are relatively low in sugar compared to many other fruits, making them safe to eat regularly without worrying about major insulin spikes. A handful of fresh blueberries mixed into your morning oatmeal or Greek yogurt, a few strawberries as an afternoon snack. It's a simple, effective, and delicious habit. And here's a great tip for synergy and savings. Fresh berries can be expensive, especially out of season, but frozen berries are just as good. They are picked and frozen at peak ripeness, which locks in their nutrients. Buying large bags of frozen organic berries is a very cost-effective way to ensure you always have them on hand. They are perfect for adding to a protein shake. A client of mine, a 68-year-old golfer named Tom, started adding a cup of frozen mixed berries to his post-workout protein shake. He said he noticed a significant improvement in his recovery and a reduction in post-game joint soreness. He was directly benefiting from those powerful anti-inflammatory properties. So, let's bring it all together. We've covered a lot of ground today. We've seen how you need to be cautious with the hidden sugars in things like bananas, dried fruits, and especially fruit juices. And in their place, we've welcomed powerful allies, like the pomegranate, the avocado, citrus fruits, and berries into our diet. But I know that information can sometimes feel overwhelming. So I don't want you to leave here feeling like you have to change everything overnight. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. So here is your simple 3-step action plan. Your doctor's orders for this week. Just 3 things. First, remove one. Just choose one single fruit from our caution list and consciously remove it from your diet for the next 7 days. Just one. Second, add one. Choose one single fruit from our powerhouse list and make a point to add it to your daily routine. And third, drink one. Drink 1 extra glass of pure water first thing in the morning when you wake up. Proper hydration is the foundation of all healthy hormonal function. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Dr. Wells, avocados and berries can be expensive. And you're right, they can be, but here's a small tip. Buy them frozen. Frozen organic berries, in particular, often cost half as much as fresh ones, and they have the same nutritional value. We're talking about an investment of just a few dollars a week. That's less than a single cup of coffee from a cafe. And please remember, this isn't really about fruit. It isn't just about a number on a lab report. This is about having the strength to lift your grandchild into the air. It's about having the confidence to walk on uneven ground without fear. This is about protecting your independence and your dignity for all the years to come. Your future self is counting on the small, smart choices you make today. So, if you are committed to this journey with me, if you're ready to take that first small step, I invite you to join our community. Hit that subscribe button. so you don't miss out on our future videos. And more importantly, go down to the comments section right now and write 2 simple words. Day 1. That is your personal commitment, your public declaration that you are taking control. Let's support each other. Thank you for investing this time in yourself today. In our next video, we're going to explore a common kitchen spice that new research shows can have a powerful effect on joint pain. You won't want to miss that one. I'm Dr. Audrey Wells, and always remember, the small changes you make today create the profound differences of tomorrow. Stay strong.